All right, folks, welcome back to the Be the Bright podcast presented by Ridge Supply. My name is Matt Hawkins. I'm the owner of Ridge Supply. This is Jordan Spoon, the man behind our Ridge Supply Arsenal account on Instagram. And we're here with our special guest, Sheldon Thompson of Rodeo Labs. And Sheldon, welcome.
Hi.
And Jordan, welcome back.
Glad to be back.
Jordan is in North Carolina, over where he lives. I'm at the coast in North Carolina, and Sheldon is in Denver, Colorado. So Sheldon's at work, I believe, correct? So this is on company time. I appreciate that.
As you can see,
that looks like a flannel, a new flannel back there.
It is a new flannel.
Sheldon, we met in person at the $150 the first time. Right.
Yeah, we did. I don't know if I would call that meeting. You were kind of running around with your head cut off.
Yeah. We were in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
How did you first hear about Ridge Supply? Like, when did we become in your field of vision?
The first time I heard about Ridge Supply was actually from the Robos. John Robo brought me a pair of his socks when I was working at Rafa at the time.
Yes.
And I was like, oh yeah, these are sweet. So that's when I first heard of Ridge Supply.
John is like the great connector. He's amazing at he's like Kevin Bacon of the cycling industry. I'm convinced. Well, that's cool.
Indeed, yeah, he is for sure. And then, once I started with Rodeo and we went to the $150, and then it just really skyrocketed from there.
Yeah. So didn't you started after we built those first Ridge Rodeos, right? Wasn't it right after that?
Yeah. I started in November, almost 2 years ago.
Awesome. Dude, it's amazing how much has changed in just that amount of time. Like
it's bonkers. From where I started working in the old office, which was,
it was a dungeon.
It was a dungeon. It was so small. And then, I was basically building bikes in a kitchen. It was just so tiny to where we're at now, where we're in this huge 3-story, shipping container building. And I can't imagine doing what we're doing now in that little space.
Yeah. I mean, so what is going on right now? I know everything in the bike industry is delayed everywhere, all over God's creation, but you guys you're still working through the first shipment of Flanimals, right?
Yeah. So we got this is, I guess, our second shipment. But the bike industry is nuts. It's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. Parts shortage, getting frames here, just everything. The whole COVID thing is definitely, it made cycling way cooler and everyone's on bikes, but it also means that there's no parts or bikes to get.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't know this, but I was going to rebuild up the original Ridge Rodeo that we did. And I had asked you, what should I do? Kind of cause I follow cycling and parts and stuff, but not as much as most. And you were like, you need to put the Dior on the back. And I had no idea that I could get 51 teeth in the back.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Especially how you built it. That's the way to go.
And with the GRX in the front, I was just telling you the other day, had we had those gears available to us last year when we were in Silverton, it would have been very nice. I probably would have walked a little less. I mean, I still would have walked, but we were running out of gears all the time, and you guys even had bigger gears than I did. I'm not even sure if there are gears that can get you up a lot of that stuff, but
no, nice, definitely not. A motor, narwhal. That's the only way to get up it.
I was going to say that. Bring an e-bike next time.
Yeah. I don't even know if an e-bike would make it. Some of that stuff was just so gnarly. I mean, that's the way I built my new Flanimal too, is with the XT 12-speed stuff. I love it. It's insane.
Yeah, it actually looks really funny because when you look at the back and then you see the disc from the front wheel, it looks like a tiny little disc rotor in the front.
Yeah.
And then the pizza pie in the back.
Yeah. I mean, I have 160 rotor on there, and it's just massive. The cassette is so huge. It's hilarious.
So you used to work at the Rafa store, right? Like in Boulder?
In Boulder. Yep. Yeah. So I was doing all the inventory control and stuff like that for for the Rafa store and helping with all the other stores throughout.
Is it Rafa or Rafa? I mean, it's
Rafa.
It's Rafa. Yeah.
It's Rafa.
I said Rafa, didn't I? I'm sorry about that.
I mean, it's what I think I've heard it called all the things.
Yeah.
How did you transition from doing inventory control to now building bikes for rodeo? Because I mean, it's kind of in the same line, but it's a little bit different.
Oh no, I was I've worked in the bike industry for a long time, bike shops, maintenance, stuff like that. So I've been a wrench for a long time. And I was actually working at a shop here in Colorado before I went to Rafa. And then Steven poached me from them. So it was pretty easy to come over.
He was really excited about that, by the way. I remember him telling me like how pumped he was that he had hired you. And I know like as a small business owner, every time you bring somebody else on board too, it's a risk in a way, just like adding payroll or, you know, the expectation of supporting somebody and whatever else. And so I just remember him being really excited about it. So it's kind of cool to see that you guys have even added, you know, I don't even know how many more people, three or four more people now in the last 2 years. So
yeah, I mean, we've got 4 full-time people now, and then a couple part-timers, and then 2, 3 contractors that we work with. So yeah, we're definitely growing. Still small, but definitely growing.
Well, we had a we had a previous episode where we talked about our favorite bike, and both of us picked the Trail Donkey, and I don't think that the industry. It's not that the industry doesn't give rodeo love, because the love that rodeo's gotten has been pretty awesome, but it pains me when we see new things come out and every news outlet covers it at the same time. Like it's like this coordinated effort, you know, just today, it's this Basso and Contador bike brand, and which is fine, but this is a brand that didn't exist. Right. Now, granted, they got Grand Tour winners behind it and all that's fine and well. But like this bike just came out today and my news feeds were blown up by it. And what I think so rad about rodeo is one of the things that you guys are doing is that you're putting out things that literally don't have peers in the market, you know, and they're super unique, and yet they're still flying under the radar. And I love that. I don't want it to be a secret forever, but I mean, do you feel like that too? Do you feel like the brand identity for rodeo is like undervalued in the cycling scene, or is the demand just so high with what you guys have that?
The demand for our bikes have went crazy this year. I don't know what happened or where it came from, but yeah, we definitely we don't take part in ads or any of that stuff. All of our stuff is totally organic and just it's our thing. Yeah. Which I think is super rad. I love doing that. I love that, you don't find bike reviews of us on Cycling Tips and all that stuff. It's if you go out and look for a review of our bike, it's a customer that has our bike and they're usually stoked on it. So I think that's probably the coolest part. But yeah, I mean, our demand this year has just been insane. We can't keep up.
That was a lot of the way, and how I kind of found rodeo is because of Matt. I picked his brain about his Trail Donkey, and he was telling me how much he liked it, and a couple weeks later I had one ordered. So
yeah, that's how it goes too. It's really cool. We always hear from customers just oh yeah, so and so has one of your bikes and told me about it and I love it. And yeah, or we have a demo fleet here in Denver and people can actually come ride them. It's the only spot you can actually come ride one. So and I'd say 9 times out of 10, it turns into a bike sale. People are just so stoked on it.
I remember when we were there last year, and we were down there. I wasn't there very long, but I was there for a few hours on Tuesday when we did tabletop and stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember this guy just randomly showed up and wanted to test ride a bike, and he just took it out for a little while. And do you guys field test rides daily? Or
yeah, even with all this COVID stuff going on, we still have bikes going out just about daily, definitely weekly. Multiple bookings a day, or just people showing up and wanting to spin one around the block.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the tables are, just down the road. So people will show up and pick up a bike and go ride the tables and bring it back, which is super rad.
Yeah.
That is pretty awesome.
That was such a great ride. I wasn't anticipating the, whatever you call it when we first got there and had to climb up that single track. I mean, which it was fine, but it was like way more technical and steep than I was because we were just like riding through this neighborhood, and all of a sudden we take this left, and it was like full gas trying to, get through.
That's
I may or may not have dabbed at one point, but I don't think anyone has footage of that. So
that's cool. You can say you walked.
Yeah,
everyone walks it. It's fine. I mean, I don't. I clear it every time.
Yeah,
but,
right.
You know.
I think if I remember correctly, actually, I dabbed and it made you were behind me and it made you have to like get off and walk or something. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, probably sounds right.
But it sounds like it's your fault and not Sheldon's.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
It was definitely my
I was
fault.
just putting that pressure on, race pace, rubbing his tire.
As the host of the ride, they did not tell me it was coming at all. It was just like boom.
That's a good host.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best part. We never tell people which way we're going. And I think whenever we take those little canal trails, they just know that we're heading to that trailhead, and everyone's just preparing.
Gets ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we came down over on the backside, kind of near where Nick works, and then we rode home straight up in the dark. And we were going full speed, like spinning the bikes out as fast as we could do, like blowing through the streets of, the mean streets of Denver at like 30 miles an hour in the dark. So, but that was a sweet ride. It was a great way to start up the trip to Silverton. So tell us real quick, what I want to know why you applied to Arsenal, because you were the first of the crew that is Rodeo. You were the first to sort of throw your hat in the ring, literally your cowboy hat in the ring. Yeah.
I was just stoked. Like after meeting you and all the people at Croatan and stuff, I was just really stoked on the brand and everything. So
yeah,
I just felt like it'd be, I just really wanted to, it's fun to be an ambassador for something that's actually really cool.
Yeah. Well, dude, I was honored because like you never know, especially like other people have other associations with stuff, and like you were such a Rafa guy for so long. I've been deconstructing the Rafa-ness. I know it's still there. I still see the jerseys and the jackets and stuff every now and then, and I got Rafa stuff too. It's fine. But yeah, so I appreciate it. I know it wasn't easy for you, to come over.
It was super easy. The socks are so good, man. Like Rafa socks suck. I'll straight up say it. They're like tissues, tissues for your feet. Yeah, they're so bad.
All other socks are great. I really appreciate your unfiltered opinion there.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're going to wrap up this first episode. This is episode 27 with Sheldon. We're going to be back. We're going to dive into our little trip from last year that I'll never forget. We want to talk about that some. And thank you, Jordan, for being here, and Sheldon as well. Episodes 27. If you want to subscribe, it's down here, I think. And if you want to go to the next episode, it's over here. I'm certain I got those backwards. And we appreciate you here at the Beat It Right podcast.